Okay, so till now we have discussed about how to upload the images or different files, different types of files in MySQL and MongoDB. I mean, first of all, we stored that files in uploads folder in Node.js, and then we take that path and store that path into MySQL as well as MongoDB. Okay, so now we will discuss about uh, the great feature in MongoDB that is called GridFS. Okay, so this is GridFS. So GridFS means GridFS means it is used to storing and retrieving large files such as images, audio files, and video files. Okay, and the GridFS describes how to split files into chunks during storage and reassembles them during intervals. Okay, so here driver is there. So this GridFS has some driver implementation which is used to manage the operations and organization of the file storage. Okay, and generally if you want to store the file, then you can directly store the file into database. But if the file size is exceeds 16 megabytes, in that cases, and if you want to store large files, then GridFS will be useful. Okay, so how the GridFS works means, see this diagram. Here document.jpg. Assume that this file size is 1 GB. Okay, and first of all, this what is the purpose of driver means? So it will manage the operations and organizations of the file storage. That means here we have to give the bucket name. Okay, so in GridFS we will one concept is there, bucket concept. It is the combination of files and chunks collection which together represents a bucket where GridFS files can be stored. So this is the files and chunks combination, we call it as bucket. So if you give some name to the bucket like uploads, okay, so if you use GridFS API, uploads.files will be created, uploads.chunks will be created. Two collections will be created. Okay, and here we have assumed that this file size is 1 GB. Okay, so here files collection will contain length, ID, length means 1 GB in terms of bytes, and chunk size means that large file that must be converted into small parts. Okay, so each and every part size is 255 KB. Okay, and that information, upload date, when it will be uploaded, and file name and content type, whether it is JPG and MP4, MP3, like that. Okay, in chunks collection we have underscore ID, unique identifier, and files underscore ID means here in this files collection so many number of files will be there. Okay, so in chunks the part of chunks belongs to which file, that file ID will be stored in files ID which has been taken from these files. Suppose if you are storing multiple files F1, F2, F3. Okay, so once you have uploaded into F1 file 1, so based upon the size of file, it will be partitioned, it will be divided into 10 chunks. Okay, so the underscore id in files collection, that will be assigned to this files id of chunks collection. Okay, so we will see it in example, then only you can understand easily. Okay, so here the files id in chunks collection, that is associated with the underscore id in files. You remember that point. And n is how many number of chunks can be created for a file. So that is the number. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, data means converted data. Okay, so see. So this is the first diagram. Here fs dot files. Okay, so fs is called it as bucket name. Okay, and this file that can be splitted into multiple chunks. And you can observe this diagram also. Large file and file data. File collection will contain metadata, and this can be splitted into multiple chunks. Okay, we call it as bucket. And here this is files collection holds the file metadata. Each chunk size is 255 KB. Okay, each chunk is stored as a separate document, and each document is numbered with property n, which starts from 0. And last chunk only holds as much data as remaining. Okay, how much data is remaining, that can be assigned for last chunk. Okay, so now we will see it by example, then only you become to understand easily. So what is mean by file and chunks? So here I have some files. Okay, so here what will be the size of image 1? Go to the properties, we know 5 MB, and exact size. So this is exact size 5704721. This is exact size. So this, if you upload this file and stored in GridFS bucket, then how do it is partition means 255 KB is each chunk size. Okay, so now I am going to calculate each chunk size. 255 into 1000, 1024. See, this is the default chunk size. Okay, this is image size. So I am going to calculate how many chunks will be created for one image. Here 21.8471. Okay, so 21 chunks will be created, and again 0.8471 size will be there, that will be assigned for another chunk. Okay, so 21 plus 1. So that will be the meaning of this last point. Last chunk only holds much data as is remaining. So remaining 21 chunks will be created. Up to 21, no problem. After that 0.8471 will be remained. Okay, that can be also considered as chunk. So totally we got 22 chunks. Okay, so this file will be partitioned into 22 chunks. Okay, so this here numbering, see, each document is numbered with property n. So here n starts from 0 to, depends upon the number of partitions. So here for this image 0 to 21. Okay, and see. So these are the parameters of files and chunks. Okay, so I am taking this image. So here what will be here id means that will be created in MongoDB, and length means what is that length? This is the length. And size, chunk size, that is the default size. Okay, so here and uploaded date present date when we are going to upload, so that date will be displayed. File name, so what will be the file name? Image1, so image1. And content type JPEG. Okay, so next in chunk collection id will be there. For example, here unique id will be created. So here for this file unique id will be, I am assuming that 1. Okay, so here file id becomes 1, and n means it starts from 0, and next data, so this is binary data we will get. So how many chunks will be there? 22. Okay, so this will be repeated for 22 times in chunks collection. Okay, so here this n value will be changed and data will be changed. Okay, so this will be continued up to 21. So 22 chunks are there, so it n starts from 0 to 21. Okay, so this is about GridFS. So for this GridFS we will use npm like GridFS multer GridFS storage. Okay, so any doubts?